Welcome back to CBC News Network. You're looking at a vital bridge for Russia connecting mainland Russia to Crimea. And we're learning this morning that there has been an explosion on that bridge, that vital supply link, and it's called the Kerch Bridge. The explosion happened around 6 a.m. this morning. There's still a lot that is unclear about what happened here, but Russia is blaming a truck bomb, while Ukraine, meanwhile, has stopped short of accepting any sort of responsibility. And we are continuing to track the very latest on the ground there. Meanwhile, we have reached Neil Kent. He is the author of the 2016 book, Crimea, A History, and a professor at the University of Cambridge. He is joining us now from Croatia. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Thank you for asking me.
First and foremost, I want to begin with your reaction to the explosion that we're seeing on that bridge.
Well, I have to say, I'm surprised, really, it's taken this long to happen. It's an obvious target, and one which one would have thought they would have attacked initially. Now, one has to say, perhaps one reason why it wasn't attacked is that Ukraine and those hostile to Russia's invasion were waiting until they felt they were acting in a position of strength, because obviously their conquest or reacquisition of Russia's conquered territory is increasing at a startling pace.
Now, I alluded already to the significance of this bridge, but can you explain to us just how vital it is for Russia?
This bridge is a lifeline for the Russians to Crimea. They have built it because it's the only direct connection, other than by ship, and now through perhaps the conquered territories around Mariupol, the only link between mainland Russia and Crimea. So lots of oil and other war material, railway carriages, passengers' cars, they all made their way over this bridge. And it has immense symbolical significance as well, because it was a crowning engineering achievement that Russia had succeeded in creating this bridge. And it's also no surprise that the architect and engineers are sanctioned.
We know that Russia has been faltering as of late. I'm curious, what do you think damaging this artery is going to do to Russia's war effort?
Well, it certainly significantly undermines it, but one has to say Russia has created a land bridge from Crimea all the way to Russia through Mariupol. So in the old days, before the conquest began, they only had the bridge. Now they have that landline as well.
How concerned should people be about the fact that Russia could see this as an escalation and therefore retaliate in some sort of enhanced way?
There's no question that they see this as an escalation, but at the same time, it's also a humiliation.
Tell me more about that.
Well, Russia has built this bridge and it's been unable to protect it, even though all the waters and all the land around it are under Russian occupation. And of course, in Crimea, at Sevastopol, there is Russia's largest naval base. So it really is a major humiliation that the principal bridge, which allows oil and other war materials to reach Crimea and the naval base, has been broken.
Okay, now finally, I want to touch on that major breaking news that we're talking about, and that is the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. We understand that it has lost its last remaining external power source due to renewed shelling and is now relying on emergency diesel generators. Can you explain to us how concerning is this?
Very concerning, because it's, there it is, a huge nuclear source of energy pumping away, and if something goes wrong, even if it's not intentional, an accident, it can create a situation far worse than Chernobyl.
Okay, well, very concerning.
And of course, the blowback is not going to only blow back, as it were, on Ukraine, it'll blow back on Russia.
All right, Neil, well, thank you very much for your perspective on all of this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Neil Kent
Bye-bye.
is the author of the 2016 book, Crimea, A History, and he is also a professor at the University of Cambridge. We reached him in Croatia.